Hello and welcome to Discovering Grays Lake, unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I'm your host, David Woll, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders, right here where we call home. Grays Lake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents, and recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grays Lake Rehabilitation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grays Lake. We are recording here from Agora. Agora is a co-working space on the corner of Atkinson and Center Street. If you don't know anything about Agora, come over here and check it out. If you're looking for a place to get your office out of the home for a day, for a week, or even a lifelong home for your business, come see Luke over here. They're very kind to sponsor the show by letting us record here. So I'm recording this on a Monday morning, and I'm great on Monday mornings, by the way, if anybody that knows me. But I'm sitting here with Michael Wollner from Bakeshare. How are you, Michael?
I am fabulous.
Okay, is it Mike or Michael?
Mike. I typically go by Michael. My father is Mike.
Okay. Well, that's good to separate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been by your place, probably driven by it or been by it 100 times in probably the last year.
Awesome.
Okay, so where are you located, to let everybody know, first of all?
So we're right on Atkinson and Center, actually.
Oh, we're right across the street.
I'm literally kitty corner across the street from where we are right now. So it was a long commute.
Yes.
No, we're right next to the Butera, all the way at the other end by the dry cleaners, and El Azteca restaurant. So.
Yeah, okay. Have you been there a really long time?
In December 2nd will be our second full year there.
Oh, your second full year. So you moved in then in the 2022. Okay.
Yeah, 2022.
Wow.
Before that, we were doing farmers markets and stuff.
Yeah, I think we're going to go back a little bit further to see how you get there, because I want to know, like, having actually a storefront and how that does it for the pie guy. Like,
sure,
how that helps. But let's go all the way back. So I know a lot of people know what Bakeshare or the name of your company.
Sure.
Because you're obviously always at the farmers market at Grays Lake.
Yep.
And how that works. But I want to go back and say, how does a guy like you end up with a bakery?
So Bakeshare started, and it's just a name. We bake it, you share it. That's it. Because so by trade, I'm an actor.
Okay.
That's what I've always done. I got my master's degree from the Goodman School of Drama, and pandemic hits. Well, there's no acting. Everything shut down. Obviously, everything shut down. I was literally in a play, brand new play, and we opened on Friday, and the world shut down on Saturday. So I rehearsed this play for 2.5 months, did one show, gone, done, finished. I'm out of a job, just like that. And like everybody, right? It doesn't matter what business you were in at that time, everything went to nuts, right? So that happened, and then Screen Actors Guild shut down. All the TVs, movie, all the stuff that I was filming and doing, gone. My insurance, gone. Everything gone in like a day. And then, to add insult to injury, the Screen Actors Guild, probably everybody knows this, went on strike after the pandemic's over. Yay, we're back to work. No, we're not.
Great timing,
it's like they just ripped the rug right out from under us. And I don't disagree with our strike. I think that actors need a fair wage, and we needed to get. They were going to take away our insurance and say, oh, let's do AI and just let's take your voice that you're doing right now, and let's put it in a commercial in Florida. I'm actually in a class action lawsuit because there's a lawyer down in Florida that stole my voice via AI and is using it in all his commercials. And I have people all the time saying, dude, I heard you on a commercial in Florida.
Stop
No, you
it.
didn't. No, you didn't. That wasn't me. That was a computer. And, it happens all the time.
Wow.
That's what the actors were fighting for, because that's our livelihood, and some computer just literally stole my image and stole me. They stole me.
Right.
And so that's kind of how that all went down. So I have nothing. Everything went to crap in a minute, right? I said, well, what am I going to do? My kids looked at me and they said, well, Daddy, why don't you just sell your pies? And I went, what are you talking about? You make amazing bakery stuff. Why don't you sell your pies? We always go to the farmer's market. Why don't you go sell pies at the farmer's market? And I went, nobody's going to like them but you guys. You're just saying that.
Right.
And they were right, and I was dead wrong. We went to one farmer's market in Grays Lake. I got Julie. You know Julie.
Uh-huh.
She acquiesced and said, yeah, come on in. We'll let you try. Day one, I asked her, how many pies do you think I should bring? She's like, I don't know. Nobody knows who you are.
Right.
Bring 25. See what happens. I bring 40. I was sold out in 30 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
Not kidding. And these were big pies back then. Now I don't make big pies because people are always like, oh, that's too much for me. I want a small pie. So I sell 5-inch pies. They're basically 2 slices. So, older couple, kids are out of the home, they're empty nesters, whatever. They each get a slice of pie. You don't need more than 2 slices, right? You don't need 8 slices of pie.
No, I don't need any of it, but yes.
Well, everybody needs pie.
Yes.
But, yeah, so I started going to the smaller pies, and now I'll go to a farmer's market. Interesting fact, since that day, I can count on, and it's been 5 years now, October 1st, 2020 was my first one.
Wow.
So since that day, I can count on one hand how many farmer's markets I didn't sell out.
Are you looking for a great time right in the heart of our awesome community? Well, look no further than the Grays Lake Village Center, your one-stop destinations for all things fun and fabulous. Picture this: historical downtown vibes with a mix of diverse businesses, an array of unique shops, and delicious restaurants, many with outdoor seating, with an option to soak up the sun or shade. But that's not all. The Village Center is where the action is. And just like the weather, it's definitely heating up. There are events that take place all year round for the whole family. But now, you'll even have more options. Fill up your calendar with things to do. Also, take a stroll through Central Park, Gelatin Park, surrounding trails, green spaces, and more activities to keep you and your friends and family active all summer long. And now that the weather is warming up, dive into the Aquatic Center. Open Memorial Day to Labor Day. But wait, there is more. Visit GraysLakeVillageCenter.com to discover an incredible lineup of events that are happening every month. Be in the know. Not sure what you're waiting for, so come on down, soak up the local vibes, and enjoy the experience that's unmistakably local and uniquely Grays Lake. Grays Lake Village Center, where the fun never stops.
So you sell out almost all of the time?
All the time.
Wow.
Every single time. There won't be a scrap of pie left on my table.
Really?
Nope. Like a couple of good customers, but this is a prime example. A couple good customers came to the Mundelein Farmers Market on Saturday. Stephanie and her husband Jay came, and they come up to the table and goes, "Oh, that's 11:15." They're like, "Oh, you got pies left?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for now." And they were like, they literally looked, and I had like 7-8 pies left on the table. I said, "Yeah, but I got an hour left." And they were like, "Oh, well, we're going to walk around. We'll come back and get them." I said, "You want me to hold one for you?" They're like, "No, we'll be fine." I went, "Okay." They literally did a loop around the market. They came back and they said, "You don't have anything left?" I'm like, "I told you 10 minutes ago you had 10 minutes. And they were gone. Everything was gone. And I had a whole bunch of little because they sell the little ones the size of a muffin tin too.
Yeah. Like
a bite-sized pie. I had probably 20 of them. They were gone.
Interesting.
In 10 minutes.
Okay, so people that didn't know who you were, hadn't had your pies before.
No.
Okay, so selling out of that, but just is it based on appearance, based on whatever? They come over, they get to meet you and hear what goes into it?
I don't really know. That first one, you mean?
Yeah, like the first one. I understand after people have already had it.
I really don't know what it was. Like the very first, I hate saying this because I feel like I'm bragging, but they're beautiful. My pies are stunning. Like literally, I forget that they look really good because this is just what I grew up with. This is what I've always done. This is how I've been making pies since I was 3 years old with my grandma.
Okay, that's what I want to talk, because I was figuring you didn't learn how to make pies when you were learning how to be an actor.
No. No.
So,
no.
3 years old with your grandma.
Yeah, there's pictures of me sitting on her lap stirring pecan pies in my diaper, just like
That's so cool.
double-handed, just covered in pecan goo. And, that's how I learned.
So you grew up around it.
I grew up around it. My grandmother was a prolific cook. Like, I wish the Food Network was around when she would have destroyed Bobby Flay. She would have flayed Bobby Flay. Let me tell you. Best food you ever wanted to eat in your life.
Really?
In your life. And the food that would come out, I mean, it's my mother's mom. There was 9 kids in that family. So my grandma had 9 kids. My grandma basically raised me every summer and fall. When I wasn't in school, I would go by my grandma's and live by her and help her on the farm and whatever for, I don't know, my whole life when I was a kid.
We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano, and Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Wollner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people.
She had 9 kids, and they still call me for recipes. It isn't the older generation who knows the recipes. They're calling me because I just know it. It's like in my head. Like, stuff's not written down. It's just like, okay, well, this is this. What goes together? I still do that, which my grandma would, and they can't hear that.
Right. Lick the finger to turn the page.
No. She'll take her finger.
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking at the recipe.
And what spice?
Oh, she can taste
How much? And, I mean, she could taste.
What?
She had the most amazing, she could tell it was, she would literally come up to your batter and go, more cinnamon.
Wow.
And you're like, what? No, I did what it said. Yeah, more. The peaches are bigger. And she just knew it. And you were like, okay. And you do it, and she was right.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's kind of creepy. I don't lick my finger and do this in the bakery. I want to be very clear. But I will look at batters and fillings that my employees have made, and I'll literally look at it and go, nope. And they'll say, what? I say, Alyssa, those eggs were too small. You need to add another egg yolk.
Really?
She'll whip it, and the consistency will change, and I'll be, see, watch, and I'll make one of my own, and it'll be perfectly the consistency I want, and then she'll be off, or he will, or Casper will be off, and I'll say, do this, and they'll go, how do you know that? I did exactly what you did. And I said, I don't know, I just know.
Right.
And I can just look at it, I can see it, and I just know.
That's crazy.
And it's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Okay, so did your grandmother she just made those for, well, having 9 kids, she just make them for that? Did she sell?
She would go to fairs and different things, and like state fairs, and she would always go to the Iowa State Fair. She was, I don't want to say a celebrity, but kind of.
Okay.
Didn't matter what she baked. And I never mastered her cakes. Her cakes were stupid good.
Okay.
But I never mastered them. I couldn't. And it didn't matter what she took to the fair. She was going to win a blue ribbon. Didn't matter.
Okay, so she went there to compete.
No, she went to see her friends.
Okay.
There was no competition.
Okay.
You would see the other ladies who were competing go, oh, Winnie's here. And that Iowa, oh, she's here. Well, we might as well go home. And they might as well have. Like, for real. Her food was beyond words.
Wow.
Like, I'll take pictures of things that I'm making that I'm like, I remember this when Grandma would make this, and I make date roll cookies at Christmas time, and I made them and I posted them on my Facebook page, and my Uncle John called me and goes, and he lives, and I don't know the name of the town, Columbus maybe, Wisconsin, which is north of Madison.
Okay.
And he's like, you better save me 12 rolls. I'm getting in the car now. And I'm like, whoa, dude. So just ask me. I'll make them for you. He's like, no, I'm coming today. I want them. I'm like, okay. So people remember those flavors. And raisin cookies. She made raisin cookies that would, and you hear that and go, yuck. No, dude, these raisin cookies are I don't even know how to describe them. They're ridiculous.
Okay, so Grandma doing all this. So as you grew up, obviously the baking thing like stood with you. So you from childhood have always like cooked around the house and done things like that.
That's what I did growing up. I would go to Grandma's and they had a chicken farm. 6,000 chickens.
Okay.
We'd go out and pick the eggs.
6,000 chickens.
Yeah, we'd pick about 12,000 eggs a day. Because they'd lay roughly an egg twice a day. So once in the morning, once in the afternoon, you'd pick your eggs, and we'd pick up those eggs, and Grandpa would, tend the whatever. I'd go out and help Grandma with the garden, and because I was little, you're not going to be
right,
castrating a pig at 11, or whatever it was. But Grandpa would go do his thing in between the two egg picks, and then I would help Grandma in the house and in the garden, and I'd get to ride the Cub Cadet tractor and mow the lawn and those kind of things. So it was cool for a kid to grow up on a farm like that.
Yeah.
And I'd bale hay and all of that. But, I mean, we're talking, the 70s and 80s.
Right.
And farming was different then. It wasn't as fancy as it is now, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know how to describe it. They still had farm hands. So they got all these kids. Grandma's making a meal was for an army. Literally, she would cook for an army every day, 3 times a day, and I would help her in the shop, in the house. And
so you were hands-on all the time.
Yeah, we made our own bread. We did all of that stuff.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I know my way around the kitchen. Okay. And then, I also worked in restaurants to get me through graduate school and undergraduate school and all that when I moved out here. I worked in 2 of the most amazing Italian restaurants that ever were. In the one, it was called Spasso's in Wakanda. Do you remember that place?
Yeah, I totally do.
Won the Zagat Award, I think, 6 years in a row, and I was the head waiter there.
No kidding.
Yeah, for like 5 years. So I learned so much good food about Italian and taking that baking, and like that's where I get my tiramisu pie or my creme brulee pies is from there, because I know what it's supposed to taste like.
Wow. Okay, so then you obviously, so you went to school, you got your graduate degree as well.
Correct.
So you never thought that you wanted, did you ever think that you wanted to be your profession being around baking?
No.
Okay. So you
Never.
wanted to be actor.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to do.
And I did for 20 plus years. I mean, I've been on Chicago Fire, Med, PD. I've starred on all those shows. I've starred on Early Edition when it was a TV show. You remember that one?
I don't know that I know Early Edition.
Kyle Chandler. He used to get the paper a day early. That show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was the bartender on that show for a season.
No kidding.
Yeah, I did all when I first got out of graduate school. I did stuff with Brian Dennehy, a couple cowboy movies. That was fun. Don't want to ride a horse ever again. Didn't like it. I don't know. Not my thing. I don't know.
Not many people come home from work with that sentence. That I don't know that I want to ride a horse ever again.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun, but an exciting career path.
Yeah, and then I end up here.
Right.
Don't ask me how.
So have you lived right around this area for a long time?
When I first moved out here, I was a resident in Marengo at the. I know, right? No, I didn't live there. I was a resident actor for a playhouse called Shady Lane Dinner Theater.
Okay.
It was, and they'd bus in people to see shows, and I don't know. I did 3 or 4 seasons there as an equity contract, and it was great. And they closed, so I was living in, at the time, I think Island Lake, and then that theater closed, and I'm like, now what am I gonna do?
Right.
All right, and I was driving from Island Lake to Marengo every day. It sucked. I hated that drive. But anyway, I ended up meeting a guy who we became really close friends, and his mother had passed away, and he had a house on a lake up in Lake Villa, and I ended up just moving in with him, and then he was like, I'm getting married, moving. You want the house? Buy it. And over time, I bought the house from him, and so that's how I ended up here, and that was in 1992.
Oh, wow. So quite a long time ago.
So, a long time ago. Yeah.
Wow.
And, my kids go to Grays Lake North, and, I
That's
never
great.
moved into the city after graduate school. I had an apartment in the city during graduate school.
Because most people that do what you do, they live in a city, right?
Yeah, I lived in Chicago for, 5-6 years. I had an apartment down there, and then I'd split my time and live up here in Lake Billa with my roommate, Andy.
Hey neighbors, this is Bill Mock with the Grays Lake Chamber of Commerce. And if you're looking for a network of hard-working, customer-focused, and generally friendly local businesses who are dedicated to helping each other succeed, then I'd like to invite you to check out and consider joining our Grays Lake Chamber. We offer our members so many ways to advance their businesses through social networking events, special event sponsorships, informative lunch and learns, and the ever-popular after-hours mixers. Come see why we say we're the new wave of business here in Lake County.
Nice. It's funny how little things happen, and then you end up in Lakeville. Like, what are the...
Yeah.
It's like, who I meet. You meet this guy, this happens in your life, and then you end up somewhere.
How'd you end up here? I don't know. I got a flat tire and couldn't change it, so I decided to live here.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, why change it and go home? Just buy a new house here.
Just buy a new house.
Okay, so the couple things you mentioned I wanted to talk about, because I know that being the farmer's market, and I've also seen some of your things on the Facebook,
Sure.
which we love so dearly, about some fundraiser things you do.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going to ask you, I always want to know, how do people give back to the community? And it seems like that is your great way to give back.
You know what? It is. I do a lot of fundraisers with the community, because when I was doing the farmers markets, Grays Lake specifically, the Grays Lake Farmers Market is my absolute favorite. It's my home base. It's I go there and I feel like Norm at Cheers,
Right.
My God, and and hey, how are you? And I know people by name. They come up. How are you? How you been? How's your kids? Did you go work in Cincinnati for another summer? I know things about them. And they gave to me for 2 years when I was just doing the farmer's market during COVID.
Right.
And when I opened the shop, it was like this. I went from 0 to 100.
Right.
And now I'm at a bakery, which costs a fortune to run.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, these people help me. I want to help them. So how can I help them? I want to help the kids. I want to help things that I'm interested in.
Right.
So I always give back to the Grays Lake North Band, the Grays Lake North Theater, because my kids are in those activities. But not just that. I do, stuff for Central too. I do the boosters clubs and the different things for them as well. And then, for whatever reason, dogs and cats.
Okay.
Little pets that there's so many pets at the market, and they're all rescues. And Grays Lake Feed, I'm sure you all know that.
Absolutely.
They give away, not give away, but they do dog
Rescues. Yeah.
adoptions. Yeah. And it just is so cool to me to see a pet find a home.
Right.
And so I help out a lot of the dog rescues and give back that way as well. I like dogs.
That's cool.
I try not to admit it, but I do.
But it's a cool way to give back, because I'll cover this in the nicest way that I can. Being a brick and mortar business, there's 1,000 people who come looking for donations
Every day.
all the time.
Every day.
And I know that a lot of people get frustrated with that, with people coming in. So I like to hear you, who would rather do something through what your love is to spread your philanthropy, so to say, through other things that you get to do, rather than, because if you gave a check to everybody that came to your front door, none of us would be in business.
Years ago.
Right.
No, we couldn't.
Right. So I would say to people that are out there that if they have something interesting or something fun to do where people could enjoy your pies with giving back, I think you do it in a cool way. So I like it that
thanks.
way.
I'll do for, and you know what the funny one is? You bring that up, and this is funny to me. To me, it's funny.
Okay, can't wait.
Maybe not for everybody. But like, hey, we got this great idea for a fundraiser at Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Would you donate like 50 big pies for us at Thanksgiving? You want me to make an additional 50 pies for Thanksgiving and do it for free?
Right. That's a good idea.
That's a Super Bowl of pies. No.
Well, and then there's a florist down there that should give away roses on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, they should do. Yeah, that's a great analogy. Yeah,
like
they
that.
should.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to get off of that subject.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Super Bowl of pies because obviously that is
It's coming.
That's your day, right?
Yep.
I want to piss you off and see how many people I can get to come buy more pies from you at Thanksgiving.
Well, you won't piss me off. You'll just put me in my grave.
Right. Okay, so give me an idea. Like Thanksgiving, when do I order a pie? How many do you sell? What's the most popular one? I probably figure out what the most popular one.
Most popular one at Thanksgiving is pumpkin, obviously. Yep. We grow a lot of our own pumpkins, but I can't do that anymore.
Okay.
I used to be able to say all the pumpkins come from my garden because I grow my own stuff too. I can't say that anymore because last year we had to supplement and buy a pallet and a half of pie pumpkins.
Oh,
so
my
those
gosh.
are those big, huge boxes on top of the pallet, the big ones. I'm talking, yeah, they're big. I have no idea. If you asked me, I couldn't tell you how many pumpkins are in that box, but it's enough that it would take up an entire stall in my garage. And I had 5 layers deep, one whole stall of my garage, just pumpkins in the garage last year. And we'll probably have to double that this year and park my car in the snow.
Wow.
But yeah, and we roast them all, hand scrape them, still the whole deal. So pies take time. Whoever said easiest pies never made a pie.
Right.
They don't have a clue. That's number one. Number two, when do you need to order by? We always say it's really good to order by Halloween for Thanksgiving. That seems like it's way far in advance. But it's not.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
3 weeks?
It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And the reality of that is if I don't know you're coming, if I haven't bought those pumpkins or grown those pumpkins or roasted those pumpkins,
right?
That wasn't me. That was you.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's dropping stuff over there.
Wow. So
if you don't roast them, and if I don't know that you're coming, I can't just roast a pumpkin. Takes 6 hours alone in an oven.
Where do you roast that? I mean, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of pumpkins, right?
Yeah, that's why I get up at 4 a.m. every day, and you got to cut them, scrape out all the seeds with an ice cream scoop, all of that, the whole deal, by hand still, and then then I cut them in half. I rub them with butter, which is like, to me, that's why my pumpkin pies are good. They're roasted in butter. It's not just throw them in the oven. I hand rub them with butter on the inside, turn them up, roast them in the oven. That butter sits in the bottom of the pumpkin, and then I scrape it out, put it in the pies, and make them.
Wow.
And it's a lot of work. So that's what's different from me versus, say, your pumpkin pie at Costco or wherever.
Right. Well, so I pull in, and we're not like there's a grocery store right next to you, so I can go in there and grab a cheap pumpkin pie, or I can have the best pie my family's had. Come over and get that.
In my opinion, yes.
Yeah.
And people, why are pies so expensive? Well, you can have that orange pie over there at Butera if you want, or you can get a real pumpkin pie that's actually brown, because that's what pumpkin should be. Everybody thinks it's orange, right?
Right.
No, it's not. Butternut squash is what's orange, or yams, or that kind. That is what's in your pumpkin pie that you're eating. It's not actually a pumpkin pie.
Wow. Okay, so how many pies did you do last Thanksgiving? Do you have any idea?
Last pumpkin only, we did 600.
Holy cow. Okay, and those obviously all have to be pre-ordered.
Prepared. You got to prepare them, yeah. And we had a wait list last year for Thanksgiving it was probably 75 people, and they all wanted multiple pies.
Wow.
So we had a wait list of 150. I ended up making more, and we made it through that wait list. We did make it through, but I drank heavily the day after Thanksgiving.
Right. I was going to say. Well, so did most of us, but not for different reasons. Yours are work related.
Yes, mine was work related. We made it through, and I'm proud to say we didn't make one mistake.
Wow.
Not one person got the wrong pie or the wrong thing, and I, knock on wood, hope that happens again. And that was just the pumpkin. I think we made 300 apple pies. My one gal who worked for me at the time, I wish I was exaggerating. I really do wish I was exaggerating, because she peeled in 1 week over 1,000 apples. We hand peel them because we slice them in big chunks. We don't use that little crank. Why don't you use that crank thing? Because that thins the apples out too much. And if you want your pie to be dry and gross and nasty, that's what people use. They use that stupid little turner, and it slices the apples too thin.
Right.
And it takes all the moisture. It takes all the moisture out of it. So we slice them by hand still, and I can peel an apple faster than that thing can. Really.
Interesting.
I can peel it and cut it faster than that. It's kind of crazy. I can peel, slice into quarters, and core an apple faster than 3 people can cut it.
Wow.
I'm ahead of them.
Wow.
When I peel my apples.
Right, do it.
Because I do it. And she's getting close, because she did literally over 1,000 apples. That's all she did for a whole week was peel and cut apples.
Does she still work for you?
She does.
She coming back for Thanksgiving? Because listening to this, I quit.
But literally, after that, middle of that week, she goes, Michael, I love you. Could I please do something else? My arms hurt. And I'm like, oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that.
Right, just finish the last 600. We'll move on something else.
But and then I transitioned people and didn't realize, I need to do this like a platoon, because that's like way too much for one person.
Right.
So I do have to do that and
well,
cycle through.
Okay, and in a business where everything has to be fresh, everything's prepared, it's not like you can't get ready any more than you can get ready, right?
No.
Except for have the product ready to prepare.
Right. So if I can explain it on a regular week,
yes,
like a non-Thanksgiving week. Today is Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I was up at 4 at the store by 4:45, bought all of the stuff that we're going to make for the 12 different flavors that we're going to make this week. We make about 10 to 12 flavors a week, different ones every week. We'll always have the standard apple and whatever, but so I bought all the stuff. Casper, my kitchen manager, is right now prepping. So we're going to prep all the crusts. So we made all the doughs last week Thursday, and they get froze because it's got to be cold. Dough's got to be cold. If you're going to make it, it's got to be cold.
Okay.
And so we freeze it for 2 days, and then it comes out. We get it to a workable temperature, but it's still ice cold. It's still like working with ice. We roll out all the bottoms of the crust today. We're going to roll out 450 pie crusts, 5 inches, today. We're going to roll those out. We're going to roll out the pie nuts. We're going to roll out the tops. That'll be about half of those, because some pies don't have a top. Some do. Some are lattice and fancy. But we don't roll the lattice, obviously, in advance. That's done for each individual pie. But like a blueberry pie, got a top. So we'll roll those tops out, and we'll have those ready to go. And they'll be sitting in the display cooler, ready to go. So we're going to do probably 600 crusts today, and then we're going to do the fillings. And we're going to get them in the coolers. And we're going to make... today we did cherry on Saturday. We did blueberry on Saturday, and that was 150 pounds of blueberries that we made for blueberry pies. And then we're going to make cherry today, and that's, I don't know what, our pot holds 40 quarts, so it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's 8 times 2.5?
A shitload of cherries.
Yeah, that's one batch, right. And we're going to make 3 batches.
Oh my gosh!
So that's how many pounds we're going to make.
Wow.
Cherry filling today, and then we're going to make we also make a lot of gluten-free stuff.
Okay.
A lot of gluten-free stuff. The pie crust that we make is actually technically gluten-free.
Okay.
Because I'm celiac, so is my daughter. So I found a flour from New Zealand that there's a farmer down in Askam, Illinois, Janie's Mill, who is growing this flour, and he hand mills it on its own line. It's all organic. It's an old world turkey red wheat that tastes amazing, and then it has less gluten content than Bob's Red Mill rice flour because there's no protein in it. It's a very low protein flour, and gluten attaches to protein. So if you remove the protein, well, there's nothing for it to attach to.
Interesting.
So it's gluten friendly because in the States they think that gluten and wheat are the same thing, and they're not. But whatever. In other countries, it's considered gluten free. Then we also make gluten free Oreo, gluten free Chips Ahoy. I don't know if I can say those words, but whatever. Yeah, we do those pies as well, and people go crazy for our cream pies.
Sure.
Yeah, my key lime pie is pretty rock and roll, dude.
Yeah.
It's really rock and roll.
My roommate in college used to go around, and he would travel the United States, and he was a film guy, so he went over doing everything, and he was on the hunt from the United States for the best key lime pie.
Okay.
And if he listened to this, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, he'd be on the way to come taste it. Just bring it on.
Bring it."
Now that I know, I'll get one and I'll get it to him.
It's kind of crazy. Like like you can see the reviews online about my key lime pie. It's rock and roll.
Okay.
And we're not perfect. I mean, we're gonna make mistakes. Of course we are.
Well, everything.
But I always tell people, hey, if we mess up on a pie, come, you want to support small business, come tell me, I'll make it right.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not perfect, right? Everybody makes mistakes. But if you like the pie, for goodness sakes, tell somebody else.
Well, yeah, that's what makes the world go round, right?
Right.
With everything. All right, so the first thing comes through my head, I'm imagining all these pies being made because you're making all of this stuff in knowing that you have Grays Lake Farmers Market on Wednesdays, right? What other farmers markets do you do?
Lake Bluff.
Okay.
Which is Friday morning. Gosh, it's early. 7 a.m. it starts, so I'm there. It's so early.
7 a.m.
It starts at 7 a.m. and finishes at noon. Then I'm there on Mundelein on Saturdays, sometimes Kenosha, public market. But I just haven't been able to increase production enough to be able to do it. And then Sundays we do Independence Park, and sometimes on the alternating weeks, because that's every other Sunday. And then we do Buffalo Grove as well.
Holy smokes.
Just for right now.
Okay. Just for right now, yes.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot.
It's a lot.
To do.
It's a lot. I mean, like I say, we're averaging about 600 pies a week that we sell.
Okay, so you make all of this stuff. I was thinking like, okay, all of this is fresh. It has to be sold by a certain time to have it fresh and out, right? So, what about a week that it rains? You have a terrible week of weather, and you're going to all these things. Do people still come out to buy stuff? Do people come see you?
I go back to my earlier statement. I've never not sold out.
Really?
Yeah.
Even on crap weather weeks?
There was a blizzard once at Grays Lakes. I mean, it was a blizzard because that one goes far into the winter, if you remember.
I actually remember blizzard for that.
It's literally blowing sideways in my face, and I am literally holding up a sheet of plastic off the back of my car, like hatchback, blocking the snow from crushing the pies and getting them all wet, covering them with, tablecloths. And I'm thinking nobody's coming out. I'm screwed. I've got 45, 50 pies that are just going bad.
Right.
What am I going to do with this? I went home with nothing.
Really? Even on the blizzard one?
In a blizzard. And I mean, it was a full-on blizzard.
Well, I guess if it's going to snow, I need a pie at home. I'm going to stop by and grab a pie before I get snowed in.
And it's funny because people will come out and they don't just buy one a lot of times. They'll buy 10. And you're like, wait, what? These freeze, right? Sure. I mean, and people,
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how many people go home with sometimes.
That's awesome. And all this is thanks to your daughters.
Oh, I couldn't have done it if they didn't tell me to, because I didn't believe it.
That's crazy.
And they were like, Dad, let's go to Baker Square. This was another part of that story. They said, let's go to Baker Square. I went, okay. Because my one daughter loves pumpkin pie, and it was October-ish. And I was like, I ain't got time to make you a pumpkin pie. She goes, fine, let's go to Baker Square. Go to Baker Square. She took one bite, and then she pushed the plate to me, and she goes, you eat it. And she's like 8 or 10. I mean, she was tiny.
She's a smart girl.
Yeah, and she pushed to me, and she goes, eat that. And I took one bite, and I went, it's okay. And she's like, exactly, it's not yours. I'm not eating it.
That's wonderful.
And she's like, that's why you need to sell your pies, Dad. Look at the crap they're selling.
Oh, my God.
And she was dead on right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy cow. Well, I'm good. I'm glad, because otherwise Baker Square would have been, gone out of business or not been around anymore here.
Well,
wait. I can't find one.
They pretty much are.
Although the only thing I will say good about Baker Square is French silk pie.
Well,
It's like crack for me. I mean,
all right.
we'll leave it. You're
I'll
going to
say
make me a French silk pie now.
I'll say this, because I say it to other people, and they're like, "Is your French silk like Baker Square?" And I said, "Yeah, except mine doesn't suck."
Okay, I'm gonna order.
My French silk pie will make your head explode.
Good. I look forward to that.
So
I look forward to that. I don't know how many episodes you've listened to, but usually we pause here, and I get to know a little bit more about Michael Wollner. We call this the Grays Lake Hot Seat.
The Grays Lake Hot Seat is brought to you by Joe Velez at JPV Financial. It's often said that those who fail to plan are planning to fail. Joe Velez and his team at JPV Financial create unique financial plans that address some of the most difficult challenges that people might face as they get older. No matter what stage of life you're in, having a proactive financial plan can help navigate some of the difficult decisions you'll face, helping you live your life by design, not default. Securities and investment advisory service offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Now for the Grays Lake Hot Seat. Hey, thanks, Joe.
hit me.
All right. And I always say, and everybody listening is like, okay, Dave, what are you going to say, that you skip around a lot? So I like that you probably won't be extremely familiar, but we'll just get into it. All right, Grays Lake Hot Seat with Michael Wollner. What is your biggest fear? We're just starting right off.
Sharks.
Sharks.
Scare the daylights out of me. I wouldn't let my wife go in the ocean above her ankles on our honeymoon.
Really?
Scared the heck out of me.
Because you watched Jaws a lot as a little kid?
I watched Jaws when my two oldest cousins, Tim and Ted, they were, I don't know, they were in high school. I was in kindergarten. They sat me down, made me watch that and the Pop-Out Vampire movie in the same night, and I've never slept another day in my life.
It changes your life.
Yeah.
You know that I can't really swim in lakes or in a pool at night without it being dark without thinking about Jaws.
Yeah.
Just with your feet dangling. Those shots that were looking up at the feet.
Creeps me out. I'm getting tingly right now.
Favorite season of the year?
Fall.
Well, yeah, if you're not working in fall. First car that you ever owned?
Alvin. That was his name. It was a 1969 Chevy Impala.
That's awesome.
Soft leather top.
What color was the car?
Blue.
Blue. And it was
Indigo.
called
Indigo blue.
Alvin?
Alvin. From Alvin and the Chipmunks.
And did you name that, or did somebody else name it for you?
It was I actually got the car from my uncle Alvin, who passed away, for $75, so we called it Alvin. But my sister said, "Oh, like Alvin and the Chipmunks." I went,
Yeah.
"Sure."
And it's better than having to explain it as your deceased uncle's car.
Yeah.
Right. Makes it cuter.
Why does it smell funny in here?
I'm not going anywhere else with that one.
Yeah.
Okay, since we're on first concert you ever attended?
Oh, you're gonna get me in trouble now.
Maybe.
Van Halen on Easter Sunday.
Really?
My parents thought that I was visiting a friend.
Well, nobody listens to this anyway, so that's good.
Okay.
But for Van Halen?
I never told my folks.
Really?
Because I dissed them for Easter.
Wow.
And I went to Van Halen. And I wish I still had it, I caught a pic from Eddie Van Halen. Because we were in like the front row. I was wedged up against that thing.
Everybody's home with their family.
Yeah. And I got a pic. And I lost it before I left the dang concert because I was a mob. It was a mob. But whatever.
Dude, Van Halen, though, for your first concert?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I forgive you
for
messing with your family.
And I was probably inebriated.
Right. No, nobody else was there. You're fine. That's great. Fill in the blank. Hey, bartender, can I have a...
Labatt Blue.
Really?
Favorite beer.
Okay. All right. I can tell you that I've never had anybody say Labatt Blue.
I love it.
Sure. Favorite childhood book?
Well, that's hard to answer, but childhood or children's book?
You can answer either way you like.
Harry Potter, because I read them to my kids, and I think those are kids' books.
Sure.
I think, maybe. Sure. But a favorite childhood book would probably it was a pop-up book that my grandma got me about Disney, and it had the Jungle ride.
Uh-huh.
The jungle boat, jungle.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever.
But that's really cool.
And it was
Actually,
pop-up.
it's funny that you say that because I think some of my favorite children's book are the ones that I read to my kids, not the ones that I remember reading, because those are the best moments ever.
Yeah,
the best dad moments, right?
Yep,
reading to your
exactly.
kids. If you had to have a superpower, what would it be?
I think invisibility.
Okay, I'm going to send you the article that I read about the psychology around being invisible. It's pretty creepy too. You're not going to like it.
I'm probably not going to like it.
But it's good. It would be really fun. Tell me a place you like to travel that you have not been.
That I've not been.
You've not been.
Ireland.
Okay. Very cool. That's a good bucket list place. Do you have a hidden talent?
My kids exposed it.
Now your hidden talent is your job.
My hidden talent is my job. It really is. I would say I'm a very solid actor, and people don't realize it. Like I'm a pretty talented actor.
Is that something you're still pursuing? Something you're really
Absolutely,
interested in?
yes. I still do it on the regular. I am the voice of DC Comics video games. I'm one of the supervillains. I always get supervillains. I'm a villain in the Hot Wheels cartoon for kids. I'm a villain. I'm Gizmo in all the DC Comics, you know. Yeah, big guy coming through. Look out, I got a gun. He's crazy and he's mental and he's so much fun. And I usually get bad guys.
Really?
Yeah, which I'm not a bad guy.
Is that part of your resume? Like, are they looking and be like,
it should be,
okay.
because on every single fire, and I've played horrible people that are they're people you want to be. You root for the bad guy because you're like, that guy's not really bad, but he's kind of bad, but I'm bad.
Interesting. Like what? Look at Breaking Bad. He was a horrible thing.
Yes, but you rooted for him.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
That those are the kind of parts that I typically get.
Okay, so I want you to get a new hat because he's wearing his pie guy hat. I want in the same color, but I just wanted bad guy.
Bad guy.
Bad
Oh,
guy.
yeah,
I think you should wear that around and just see how many people.
See how many people even notice.
Right. I think I know the answer to this, but would the 12-year-old version of yourself think you're cool?
No.
Really?
No.
You wouldn't be like, oh, look at him, he's baking pies.
No.
No?
He's not a third baseman.
For what team, though?
Probably, if I, now or when I was 12? When I was 12, the Houston Astros. Now the Cubs.
Okay. I can respect that. Okay, so if the answer to this is no, I'd be extremely surprised. Do you have a nickname?
Yes.
Of course you do. I was going to say, if you don't, I don't know who does. What's your nickname?
Well, most people, now I've got multiples.
Okay.
Pie guy.
This portion of your life, you're pie guy.
This portion of my life, I'm pie guy.
And other portions of your life?
Walnut.
Walnut. Any reason? Just
my last name, Wollner.
Oh.
Walnut.
It is funny that you're WOLL.
And you're
NER.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped the NER.
NER.
Right. What do you wish that you learned sooner in life?
I don't know how to explain it. To be less judgmental.
Of yourself or others?
Others.
Okay. I like that.
I wish I'd learned sooner in my life to be less judgmental of others.
Okay. I get it. And the older I get, I think the more you understand things like that.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Have you ever eaten a roller dog from a gas station?
A what?
A roller dog. You know the dog.
Oh, the thing on that on the little. No.
No.
Absolutely no.
No. And on a road trip or anything, you would never have one.
No way.
Hard no.
That's a no. Oh God, have you?
I'd love them.
What? Are you kidding?
I think they're great because you just don't have to have any roller food. Yeah. Well, Michael's not going to get over this.
I look petrified.
He does look petrified.
Why would you eat that?
The absolute best response. I think it's more of an adventure.
So's the bathroom the next morning, but I'm not interested in that adventure.
That's great. All right, I'm gonna get you sometime after you have a couple of your cocktails, your Labatt Blues.
I'm really good. Thank you.
I'm gonna smile about this all day. What's your middle name?
Anthony.
Have you ever broken a bone?
Yes.
Okay, what'd you break?
All of them are just one.
just one of them. So
Ankle, fingers,
Really?
lots of fingers, nose, my skull.
okay, that doesn't sound like a good
No.
story. Okay, we're not
It
going
wasn't.
down that one.
Actually, it was. It was
Yeah.
a buddy dared me, and it was a really dumb dare, and I took it.
What did you do?
It was almost as bad as eating a roller dog.
I have no skull fractures from roller dogs yet. What did you do to fracture your skull?
A boat hitch came up and hit me in the face.
Oh,
Like the boat tipped and the hitch came up.
yeah. Ouch. Holy
Whacked me
crap.
right in the skull. Right there.
Ah.
You see the scar?
Okay, that hurts me.
Yeah.
If you had to have a theme party at your house, what would it be?
A theme party?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Come on, you have to be the guy that would.
A theme pirates.
Okay.
Because we did it for my kid's 5th birthday party. We had a pirate
Yeah.
party, and it was quite fun, actually.
And I love how your stories and your things go back to your kids. It says
'Cause
a lot.
they're awesome.
It says a lot about you.
My kids are amazing.
That's awesome. And how many?
2.
Two.
Both girls.
Both girls. How old are they now?
Yesterday was my daughter's 19th birthday.
All right.
And wow, I can't believe I'm saying this on this, but I'm going to say it. Hopefully my youngest daughter doesn't listen, but every one of their birthdays, I sat down and wrote a bunch of things about them that happened that year. And I presented it to her yesterday because she's moved out to college a couple weeks ago, and I gave it to her on her 19th birthday. And every year on their birthday, I wrote them just how much I love them.
That's awesome.
And I gave it to him. I gave it to him to Caitlin yesterday, and I didn't let her read it in front of me because I don't think I could have managed that.
No.
I said, you can't read that till later. Just read it when you're sad or when you need a lift. And she sent me a text that it was the greatest gift she'd ever gotten.
How awesome is that?
And I'm going to do it for my little Kai bug, too.
Yeah. That is really cool. And that stuff they'll have forever.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Nice job, Dad.
Thanks.
That's really good.
That's one thing I think I'm pretty good at is being a dad.
How was it having her go away to school?
Sucked.
Yeah. Where's she
One of
at?
the worst days of my life. Carroll University up in Waukesha, Wisconsin, was a really cute little town.
Yeah. So she's not far away.
Not
You can
far.
see her whenever you want,
Mm.
right? Ish.
I tried to. I want to let her wings fly a little, but yeah, I'm gonna go up a lot.
Yeah. Good for you. That's fantastic. Did you play a sport in high school?
Yes, actually, I was of all things, a wrestler in Iowa, and I was actually pretty good.
Really? I thought you were going to say baseball.
I wanted to play baseball, but I was working on the farm, and so I would go to my grandma's.
Really? Even through high school?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they got a little bit older and they needed help.
Wow.
So that's what I did.
Wow. Very cool. And it seems like a lot of your fondest memories come from there too.
Oh, the farm was the greatest place on it was heaven.
So other members of your family, like you have brothers and sisters too?
I do.
Okay.
I have 2 little brothers and an older sister.
Did they go as well?
Yes, but not all the time. My sister was older. My littlest brother went to my other grandma, my dad's grandma. And I don't remember where. We all went places for the summer.
Right. Sounds like you really gravitated towards there. Like
Yeah,
that was
me.
Yeah.
That was my place.
All right.
My happy place.
That's awesome. Your favorite Grays Lake event to attend?
It's not a single event, but the parades.
Yeah. I love that answer.
My kids play in the band, and it's just I love it. I think it's great, and yeah, I just like the parades.
And you know what? Watching the marching bands and them come through the parades to me is like one of the coolest things.
They're great.
It's like Americana, like hometown, like watching them come through.
They're really good.
Very good.
Yeah,
That's really fun.
Yeah, I like that.
That's awesome. Let's go. We'll do 2 more here. I'm sure that you have this too. So I'm judging you. Like I'm not supposed to be judging you.
Judge away.
Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Yes.
All right. Well, now I got it.
I gotta tell you?
Well, yeah. After that kind of answer, for sure.
The devil went down to Georgia.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Charlie Daniels Band.
Because it's not really singing.
Well,
it's talking.
And you're
really fast.
And you're a voice guy, so that's why I'm like, I wonder which song. Like, I do Baby's Got Back because it's not singing.
Oh, it's not?
It's just rapping,
oh,
right?
Okay.
So it's just, right?
Yeah, okay.
You can do that.
That makes sense.
Devil Went Down to Georgia, you can do that too.
He was looking for a soul to steal.
Right.
He was in a bind because he was way behind. He was willing to make a deal.
Right. Well, he came across this young man's son, and so, boy, I'll tell you what.
Not a fiddle, I'll tell you what.
Exactly. See, yeah, don't know that song. Sunrise or sunset? Which one you like better?
Oh, I was like, you're asking me the difference? I thought you were smarter
One
than
goes
this.
up, one goes down.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Probably sunset.
Right. Okay, but we've talked that you've kind of changed your life around here. That you weren't always like a morning guy.
Right.
Right. Do you ever see yourself waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get everything done? Like, it's a big change in your life, right? From what you used to do to actually getting up that early, or did you always get up early?
No, I mean, I've gone back and forth in life. I've worked 1,000 different jobs, overnights. I've done different, working on a farm. You're up pretty butt-ass early.
That's true.
Sorry, I cursed.
No, yeah, I never do that, so you're fine.
Yeah.
What do you
so
put?
I would say the reason that I like sunset rather than sunrise is because I can share a sunset.
Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services: personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
Interesting.
With people that I love.
Right. That's awesome.
Because they're awake.
Right. They're not always awake on the other side. What do you put on your pizza?
Pepperoni and mushroom.
Awesome. And we're ending with tell me about an award that you've won that you're very proud of.
An award that I've won that I'm very proud of. I don't know the answer to that. I would say it's a toss up between. I won some awards for a book I wrote, and that was a pretty proud moment for me. But the most proud I think I won, and I shouldn't say I won. I didn't win. I was nominated for a Jeff Award, if you know what that is.
I do not know.
The Jeff Award is basically the Tonys of Chicago.
Okay.
So it's the biggest theater award in Chicago. I was nominated for Best Actor in a play, and I didn't win, but I was nominated. And that was just awesome for me.
Yeah, a huge honor just to be nominated.
I mean,
right?
it's in Chicago. This is the third largest market in the country,
Right.
And one of the best improv towns in the world. And I was nominated for Best Actor in a play in Chicago, for goodness sakes.
It's awesome.
So to me, that was probably the biggest accolade. If
Right.
you will. Even though I didn't win.
Right. Well, just being nominated is good. Okay, so we're done with the hot seat questions. You're a very interesting dude. I love to.
You're pretty cool too.
Thanks. It's fun to see where our life goes and the different things we take, because being in film and voice acting and all of these different things you do, you get a lot of different experiences.
Yeah.
And it's probably cool to, when your phone rings or when things happen, that you have no idea what it's going to be, or it's kind of interesting, especially with work like that. Like, oh God, what is this call going to be? Like, it must take you a lot of fun, different places, right?
Yeah. I've been to Alaska. I shot a commercial for Coors Light. Remember when they used to have it years ago, where guys were snowboarding and stuff? Mm-hmm. I was in a commercial for that. I was not snowboarding. I want to be real clear. But I was in this pass in Talkeetna, I think was the name of the town, Talkeetna, Alaska, and it was a pass that wasn't even open yet, and I want to say the base of Mount McKinley is going up to Mount McKinley, and
That's beautiful there.
oh, it was stunning. It was stunning. I just remember the town being, this gorgeous place with like dirty hippies selling jelly.
Okay. I used to play drums for a band called Dirty Hippies Selling Jelly.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Short-
that's
short
cool.
time.
It was just
Very
tambourine,
ironic.
though, right?
Right,
Just played
just
the
tambourine.
percussion. Yeah. But yeah, it was awesome. That was cool. I did 20 plus commercials for Kellogg's Raisin Bran Crunch. If you remember those 3 idiots running around the country eating Raisin Bran Crunch, I'm one of those 3. Hello, governor, is my ridiculousness. You remember that catchphrase?
Of course.
I was the one that said, I like it because in the middle of Kellogg's it says, hello, governor, like a British greeting.
Right.
And they kept it and put it in a commercial. But
That's hilarious.
I was in L.A., we were in New York, we were all over with those. I mean, we traveled. It was great.
That's
That was
fun.
really cool.
Okay, so commercial things like that. Also, I think what you did, you've done everything, like work for McDonald's. Did voice work for McDonald's? Or
I did.
commercial work?
Yep, it's back again. The new McRib Jr. sandwich at McDonald's.
Really? So that's the gigs you get like that. It's great. 'Cause
Yeah,
you get to
and I
hear it
just-
everywhere.
Now you do them from your closet.
Right.
Sorry, studio. If there's any producers listening,
Yes.
I have a studio. It's not a closet.
Right. Yes, I have a studio like that too. Yeah, the sound deadening stuff in there is great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I do most of that from home now.
That's good. So you're still actively doing voice work.
Yep.
Cool.
Actively doing voice work. Just booked a series of audiobooks. I'm going to be doing 6 audiobooks. And then on hold for a movie where I play kind of a tortured cop.
Okay.
So we'll see if I get it.
You get bad guy. If it's bad guy, you're
He's
in.
kind of a bad guy, but not. He's a crooked cop. He's giving the perp something
Doesn't sound
bad.
like a
So
bad
it
guy at
doesn't
all.
sound like a bad guy at all. So he's kind of bad, but not. He's doing it for the right reason. He's doing the wrong thing for the right reason.
Yes, I've seen Dexter. Yes.
Yeah. Bad guy.
I mean,
Okay.
killing people is only wrong in certain
Yeah,
instances.
and it's just once in a while.
Right. Just for making the world a better place,
Yeah.
one body at a time.
Once-
I'm not pretty sure that's not the tagline for the
no,
show,
but it could be.
it could be.
It should have been.
It should have been. Great show though. All right. So let's end here because we're getting time. I know that you just when I said you're an interesting guy, like when you come around, like just this book thing that you have, like tell me about the book because I know your book is fantastic and you won a lot of it was very successful and you kind of brush it off like. Okay, the book, yeah.
The book.
Yes.
It's called, I think I can say this on the air. It's called Whoever Stole My Christmas Decorations May You Rot in Hell. Because when I was living in the city, I was in an apartment on Walcott next to the Sears store, and Walcott and Lawrence, and the guy across the street had all of it. He made these elaborate things. It was, Griswoldy kind of front yard, to the point where he was right across the street from my apartment window and I couldn't sleep. I had to get blackout curtains. I hated that guy. So I woke up one morning and there's no light, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? I look outside and it's just destroyed. Everyone has they ripped it apart, they tore it down. It just was, I was like, oh. I'm like, wasn't me. I haven't slept in months, but I didn't do that.
Right. I bought the blackout curtains. That's your response.
As far as I go.
Right.
I did not do that. So his response to them destroying his Christmas decorations, he took a 4x8 sheet of plywood, spray painted it in red and green. Whoever stole my Christmas decorations may rot in hell. And it was just such a funny, ironic thing. I was like, I have to write something about this.
That's fantastic.
And I did. And I wrote an episodic book about the stupid crap that happens at Christmas because of Christmas.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. And did you get, how was it published? Did you self-publish? Did you have other?
Well, I went through a publisher called Nightingale Press, which I don't think is around anymore. It was a small publisher. and it made it all the way to the New York Times bestseller list, and it beat the only one that beat me was Seinfeld's Wife's Cookbook that year,
Right.
and turned out to be a lie, that book. And I even beat Stephen Colbert's book, which made me kind of go, oh,
That's awesome.
yeah.
And with that title of the book, it's great. The title of the
It's
book's
hilarious. It's very seasonal, obviously.
Right.
But it's heartfelt, it's fun, and just ridiculously funny. It's just got some funny moments in it that you laugh out loud.
Wow. Is that something we can all pick up after we order it? So we got to order
I think you can find it on Amazon still.
Okay.
I
So
mean, it's probably out of print.
Okay.
That was 2008-ish.
Oh, wow. So we order our pies. We go and get the Christmas gift off Amazon. We're all set. So at the release of this, so there's no time too early to order our pies for Thanksgiving, right?
No, I've already got, I don't know, probably 25 or 30 orders already.
Nice.
And, it's going to get crazy this year. It's going to be cray-cray, as we say.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
So Grayslake, get out there and order your pies and quit buying the cheap stuff. Like get something and go and come say hi at the farmers market too.
Yeah,
I think it's a
come
great
visit. I like chatting.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you too.
You too.
Anything else that we need to know about you? I mean, there's probably 1,000 other things, but anything we want to mention to Grayslake before we sign off today?
No, I think we're good, man.
Good. I also really enjoy how the community has supported you, and I think that's a great
You know what?
thing.
This is a great little town, and I'm grateful that I'm here, and very proud of every customer that comes in and does actually support the little guy.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. People don't have any idea.
No, you know what? There's one more thing.
Yeah.
Because you just brought it up. Grayslake supports the little guy, and I always get this question. And do you guys take credit cards? Yeah, we take credit cards. Oh, because I always like to pay cash when I come to a small business. And I love those people because, and somebody explained it to me like this, and I'd never thought about it before. Dave, if I give you $20 and you give me a product, when you take that $20 to the next store, it's still $20.
It's not $18.50.
Right. And you only have $18.50 to spend. When you go to the next place and you charge it, now it's $16 and so on. And eventually that $20 disappears. It's gone.
Yep.
It's gone. But $20 will always be $20.
Right.
Cash is always cash.
Cash is king, and keep small business alive, and what eventually the economy
going.
Yeah, especially in small business.
Yeah.
I think one of the last years I did my DJ business, we looked and at the end of the year of how much money was taken out of
credit card fees.
Absolutely, for big purchases, and here you look at it and go, holy cow, well, where does that money go to? So the bank gets that for me running a small business in a small town and trying to help people out and people supporting us. It's just gone.
It's gone. It's just gone.
Paying cash.
If you can. But if you can't, we'd love to have your credit card.
Right. Either
we
way.
just want you to have a pie.
Right. Hey, and you know what? More people pay cash keeps prices down too.
That's right.
Right. So it stays at home. All right. Well, Grayslake, thank you. And thank you, Michael. I appreciate you for being in here. Grayslake, no matter where you're listening, do me a favor, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on Apple, whether you're on Amazon Music, YouTube, wherever you're at, hit the subscribe button because we do the show to support local things and build community. And that way, every week when a new show comes out, you'll be alerted so you can listen. And two things I always say at the end. One, listen to people you don't know. Because I think one of the coolest things is if you don't know who Michael is, I didn't know who Michael was, and we got to make a new friendship, and I get to learn a lot of really cool things from a really cool dude. So the more that we do that, the more people we know in town. So that's great. So listen to people you don't know, and wherever you're at today, we never know what our friends are going through, our neighbors are going through. So do one little random act of kindness for me today, whether it's just smiling at somebody, open the door for somebody, send a text to an old friend, just say hello and you're thinking about them, because that really makes the world go round. So, Grayslake, thank you once again for listening to Discovering Grayslake, and we'll see you next Tuesday.